JP Smit, you are not the law. You are simply an MMC. And if everybody in the Western Cape is afraid of you, we're not afraid of him. He must apply the law as law. He's not a goddess of South Africa. If they are afraid of him, we will tell him what to get off and ensure that he applies the law as it is. He's not God. Everybody in the Western Cape, in the DA and so on, when he speaks, it's like it's God or Gabriel speaking. He's not Gabriel.
A frustrated transport minister warning Cape Town not to undermine national laws and not to violate the constitution.
They are adding a sanction that does not exist in the legislation. And that sanction is only meant for the taxi industry only. Now you can't do that because it would mean that we can extend any legislation. If we think that any legislation has weaknesses, you follow an amendment process that goes to Parliament. You don't use anything like your conditions in order to strengthen any weak, if it is weak, legislation. You amend the legislation.
She went further, saying insults against the taxi industry were unfortunate.
If the city continues just to be arrogant, then we have a problem. We said to them, if we were to agree on these matters in terms of the law, the conditions of impoundment in terms of the law, and therefore release cars that are impounded on the basis of the wrong legislation, the strike will be called off. They're saying they're not budging, and they're not going to speak to, they call them thugs. They're saying they're not going to call, to talk to thugs. I don't see the taxi industry and those people as thugs. They might have their own challenges and issues, but I see them as people that are in business, that are transporting our people.
The minister says that the city of Cape Town is failing to implement transport laws correctly and is creating tensions unnecessarily so.
And they budget on that. It cannot be. The mayor, in fact, the MMC responsible for safety and security in the Western Cape, he says for one truck that is banned, we are going to impound 25 taxis. No, you can't say that. Wrong as it is to touch taxis, but you cannot therefore say randomly, because you are actually confirming the fact that it is alleged that he said that. You are actually confirming the fact that your impoundment is not informed by any law.
Chikunga also condemned the taxi violence in Cape Town. She says the department is currently in talks with taxi stakeholders, especially Santaco, to find lasting solutions. Chikunga has vowed to return to Cape Town, where she'll remain until the matter is resolved. Patricia Fasage, SABC News, in Midrand.